Welcome to the second review video in this steak stir fry series. Once again, I'm reviewing three recipes and I'm reviewing the recipe based on taste and cookability. And cookability is just how easy it is to follow the recipe that I pulled, from this online website. So once again, I did a Google search and this recipe came up. It's on a website called cookbycolornutrition.com. It's a sirloin steak stir fry recipe. And let's dive into the ingredients. So we're looking at five main ingredients: steak, asparagus, mushrooms, carrots, cooking oil. So it's more like four. Um, and then let's take a look at the sauce ingredients. There is eight ingredients here, but it looks like this is a substitute. So it's really like seven ingredients for the sauce. And then optional. I'm not going to really do any of the optional. I do have tamari soy sauce, so I'm going to use that instead of coconut aminos, which I don't really know what that is. And then for arrowroot starch, I'm assuming, this is just any starch could work, so I'm just going to use cornstarch because that's what I have. Um, so let's go over the instructions, see how easy it is to follow. So, okay, so just cut the steak and salt and pepper it, let it sit to room temperature. Mix all the sauce ingredients, shake in a jar. All right. Okay, so this instruction right here is to cook all the veggies separately for a few minutes each. It doesn't tell me what heat I should cook it at though. Same with this, and also cook your meat 5 to 6 pieces at a time in batches. Once again, no heat. And then here, okay, mix everything together at medium heat. S- I'm assuming this is only at the end though. So, um, anyways, so that's the recipe. I mean, it looks more or less simple. I am gonna try to cook it like everything separately per the instructions, see if it makes a difference. But yeah, let's go ahead and jump straight into the recipe cooking and then the review afterwards. All right, so here are the ingredients for this first top sirloin recipe. Um, we got the top sirloin. See here, about a pound, a little over a pound, $9. A pretty good price. And we got carrots, we got shiitake mushrooms. I actually got the dried one, so I have to soak it in water for a bit for it to puff up, rehydrate. And then we got asparagus. So these are the main ingredients. Now, avocado oil is just cooking oil of choice, and there are 7 ingredients for the sauce in this dish. So it said arrowroot starch, but I think it's just, they just said starch, so I'm just substituting with cornstarch. But everything else, I kind of got what they asked. Tamari is just soy sauce, but I guess more soy and no wheat. Rice vinegar. So instead of grated ginger, I just have ground ginger, minced garlic, and sesame oil, and orange juice. It's kind of weird to use in a sauce, but yeah. So here are the ingredients. I'm gonna go prep the ingredients, and we'll see how it comes out. All right, so all the ingredients are prepped now. Mushrooms are still soaking, but I cut up the other veggies. The steak has been chopped and seasoned with salt and pepper. I don't really count, salt and pepper as extra ingredients because everybody has them. So right now we're still waiting for the steak to wait until it gets into room temperature and the mushrooms to get soaked. Um, Once the mushrooms rehydrate, I'm just gonna slice them up, remove the stems and slice it up a little bit. And all the sauce is also prepared from all those ingredients. So the sauce was really simple. It was just 1/4 cup of the tamari sauce, 1/2 cup of orange juice, and then more or less 1 tablespoon of everything else into a jar and shaken. So that's nice. I like that the sauce was simple to make. So I'll go ahead and record the actual cooking once all the ingredients have reached the desired temperature. All right, so I cooked all the ingredients separately. You can probably see right here, just like the recipe suggests. So it was pretty simple. That's why I didn't record any of that. Now the part that comes next is to add the sauce, thicken it, and then add everything together, and we'll take a look at how that kind of comes together. So we go ahead and add the sauce. They didn't really mention what heat to add this sauce in, so but just go ahead and add all of it. There's cornstarch in there, so the sauce should thicken. They said it'll thicken in a couple minutes, so I'm just gonna, thicken the sauce and add everything together, mix it in the sauce, and we'll see how it tastes and review, the actual recipe. All right, so this is the finished product. Looks pretty decent, smells pretty decent. So I'm gonna go ahead and give it a quick taste test. All right, so my rating for this in terms of taste is I'd say it's a 7 out of 10. It's definitely pretty good, but the one thing that I didn't understand was the carrots. Because so usually when you have steak, right, mushrooms and steak is a known good pairing. Asparagus and steak, pretty known good pairing. I don't think I've ever seen a recipe with carrots and steak, and it adds a crunch to the dish, but the asparagus is already crunchy, so like you didn't really need any extra crunch. And because everything was cooked separately for the most part, like there's no carrot flavor really, right? Like the flavor is more or less like not there from the carrot, so it's just kind of like what is it there for? Overall, the dish is okay though. It's like it's pretty good. So that's why I gave it a 7. And in terms of cookability, I would also give it a 7 based on the recipe. So one thing I really liked was that there was only 12 ingredients, so that normally ranks pretty high. All the instructions were simple, so that also ranked high. But the reason why I gave it a 7 was because some of the instructions, while simple, I felt like needed to provide some more details. So for example, they did not specify what heat you should cook each step at, right? So I just defaulted to medium, high, and cooked per the time they stated, and kind of just eyeballed it, all the ingredients separately. Where they said to cook the steak, they're like, oh, cook 5 to 6 pieces, flip 30 seconds each side. So for me, that's like a crazy step, because I just cooked all the meat together, because how are you gonna cook 1.5 pounds of beef, separately? You're gonna have to do it, it's gonna take forever, right? 5 minutes of just cooking beef or more. So I didn't want to do that. I don't think I botched the recipe by doing that, because I just ended up cooking the beef instead of 30 seconds each side, 40 seconds each side. Adding the carrot standalone was weird, so that's why I'm giving it a 7. Normally this would get an 8 because of how simple and it was. It wasn't hard at all to prepare the sauce. It wasn't hard to prepare the ingredients for the most part. It was just the cooking itself. The recipe didn't specify the heating temperatures, which I felt like it should. If you're going to specify time, might as well specify heating temperature, right? The cooking temperature of each step. And I also didn't like that you cooked every ingredient separately and only stir fried it for 30 seconds at the end. It didn't come together that well as a recipe. Well, it came together decent, but it wasn't like high enough to warrant anything over a 7. So I think cookability 7, taste 7, overall would be 7.